are trying to track me.
Some songs changed the world, but the world never knew the full story. Behind the music you grew up with, there were struggles you never heard about, battles in the studio, pressure from the industry, moments that almost never made it to your ears. You think you know these songs. You don't. Not yet. These are not just records. These are pieces of people's lives. Their pain, their faith, their fight to be heard, and some of them almost disappeared forever. This is the real history of reggae music. The part they left out. Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you will never listen to these songs the same way again. Number 10, the Melodians, Rivers of Babylon. Close your eyes for a second. Imagine a small church somewhere in Kingston. No big lights, no fancy equipment, just voices lifted up toward the sky. That is what this song feels like the first time you really hear it. Not just listen to it, but hear it. It wraps around you like something sacred. This tune was recorded around 1970. The Melodians were a vocal harmony group out of Jamaica. Brent Dow, Trevor McNaughton, and Tony Brevitt. 3 men who could blend their voices together in a way that made you feel like you were somewhere holy. The production came out of the legendary Studio One system, one of the most important recording spaces in all of Jamaican music history. And what were the lyrics about? They came straight from the Bible. Psalm 137 to be exact. The song is about a people far from home, longing for somewhere they belong, crying out by the rivers of a foreign land. That is not just poetry. For Jamaican people in that era, and for black people all over the world, that was real life put to music. The song got a massive push when it appeared on the Harder They Come soundtrack in 1972. That film and that soundtrack introduced reggae music to audiences in the UK, North America, and Europe who had never heard anything like it before. Then, in 1978, a pop group called Boney M took a version of the song to number 1 across most of Europe. That brought even more attention to the original. Fun fact, Brent Dow, the lead voice on this recording, was just a young man when this was cut. And the lyrics he sang, drawn from ancient scripture, resonated with people in ways nobody predicted. When the song got to Europe through that Boney M version, people went searching for the original, and when they found it, they said the Melodians version hit different. Because it was real. It had weight that the pop version just did not carry. Now here's the thing. Despite all of that reach, the Melodians themselves never got the kind of recognition they deserved. Boney M got the fame, the Melodians got the spiritual credit, but not the commercial reward. Poor distribution, limited label support, and the way the music industry worked at the time meant these men watched their song become famous without becoming famous themselves. That kind of pain runs deep, and that is why when you hear this song, you need to listen with that understanding. You are hearing the sound of men who gave something beautiful to the world, and the world gave it back to someone else. And the next tune is older than some of you might think, and it tells a story that still makes your stomach drop today. Number 9, Sister Nancy, Bomb Bomb.
Thing Nancy can't understand. One thing Nancy can't understand.
Now this one is special to me because when you think about who was allowed to lead a sound in 1982, who was allowed to step on stage, grab a mic, and command a crowd, it was almost always a man, almost always. And then came this woman, this young Jamaican woman, and she changed the game without asking anybody's permission. Her name is Aflin Russell, but you know her as Sister Nancy. And Bam Bam came out in 1982 on the 1-2 album. She recorded it as a DJ, which in reggae terms means she toasted, she chanted, she commanded that rhythm with her voice. The producer behind this was Winston Riley, a big name in Jamaican music who ran Techniques Records. The song was built on a hard dance hall rhythm, and from the moment it dropped, sound systems across Jamaica were playing it on repeat. The lyrics talk about strength, about standing tall, about not letting anyone put you down. It is a song about self-worth. And coming from a woman at that time, in that industry, in that culture, that message was revolutionary. Not just for women, for everyone who ever felt overlooked. And here is where the legacy really hits you. Decades later, we are talking the 1990s, 2000s. And even today, producers in hip-hop started digging through old records and they found Bam Bam. Jay-Z used it. Kanye West used it. It got sampled again and again and again because that rhythm has something in it that is almost impossible to replicate. It just moves people. Fun fact, Sister Nancy was only a teenager when she first started performing. She grew up watching her brother Brigadier Jerry work the sound systems, and she decided she wanted to do it too. People told her it was not a woman's place. She did it anyway, and the result was one of the most sampled reggae songs in the history of recorded music. But here is the sad truth. For a long time, younger fans, even reggae fans, did not know her name. They knew the sample, they knew the beat, but they did not know the woman behind it. Sister Nancy did not get the mainstream recognition for decades that she absolutely earned. The genre moved toward a new era, and she got left in the background while her music stayed in the foreground. That is a story that needs to be told louder. If you are enjoying this so far, smash that like button right now. We are just getting started, and this only gets deeper. Keep listening, because the next number brings us to a man who turned his time behind bars into one of the most electrifying records ever made. Number 8, Toots and the Maytals, 54-46. That's my number.
Hey, 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 what they get? Hey.
Picture this, you are locked up. You did not think it would happen to you. The walls are close, the days are long, and all you have is your voice and your faith. What do you do with that? Most people break. Toots Hibbert made a masterpiece. This song was recorded in 1968, right after Toots, Frederick Nathaniel Hibbert, was released from prison. He had been jailed on cannabis charges, and 5446, that was his actual prison number. His real number. He did not hide it. He wore it like a badge of truth. The track came out on Beverly's Records, one of the most important labels in early Jamaican music, run by producer Leslie Kong. Kong had a way of capturing performances that felt immediate and alive, and you can hear that in every second of this recording. The music itself is driven by brass, energy, and Toots' voice. Which sounds like it is coming from somewhere deep inside the chest of a man who has something to say and is not going to wait another second to say it. The rhythm swings between ska, rocksteady, and early reggae.
What is that? Yeah, yeah.
It is a transition song, sitting right at the border of what reggae was becoming. The lyrics are simple but powerful. He is saying, "You put a number on me.
Sing it on, mister.
You tried to reduce me to that number, but I am still here. I am still standing." That theme of resilience through injustice, that is the heart of reggae music, and Toots lived it. He did not write it from the outside looking in. He wrote it from inside a cell. Fun fact, some music historians say this is one of the earliest recordings that you could call reggae in its truest form. Not ska, not rocksteady, but reggae.
Hear what I said, Sanchez?
That means this song is not just a classic. It might be one of the founding documents of an entire genre, but it gets overlooked. People know Pressure Drop, we will get to that, but 5446 deserves just as much love.
Yeah, hey, what is that? Yeah, hey, boy, Jackie.
It never got the international push it needed. And as the music industry moved through the 1970s towards smoother productions and bigger stars, Toots' raw early work got left behind by casual listeners.
You began to hurt me, no.
That is a shame, because this record is raw truth.
You began to hurt yourself. Oh, what is that? Yeah.
The next tune moves us to London, to a city that was tearing itself apart, and a song that spoke the truth about it before anyone else dared to. Number 7, Junior Murvin, Police and Thieves.
Police and thieves in the street.
You need to understand what Kingston, Jamaica looked like in 1976 to understand this song. There were two political gangs fighting for control of the streets. There were police. There were criminals.
Fighting the nation with them.
And sometimes it was very hard to tell the difference. People were scared, people were angry, and Junior Murvin, this quiet, high-voiced singer from Port Antonio,
Police and thieves in the street.
walked into Lee Scratch Perry's Black Ark studio and recorded something that captured all of that fear and frustration in one track. Lee Perry. You need to know that name if you don't already. He was one of the greatest producers in the history of reggae music.
Oh yes, scaring the
His studio, the Black Ark, in his own backyard in Washington Gardens, Kingston. That studio produced records that sounded like nothing else on earth. Perry had a genius for sound.
from Genesis to
He would layer textures, add echo and reverb, create space in music that made your head feel like it was floating, and Police and Thieves is one of his finest productions. Junior Murvin's voice is something else entirely. It is high, delicate, almost feminine in its register, but the message underneath it is not delicate at all. He is singing about violence, about the breakdown of trust between communities and the people who are supposed to protect them. About innocent people caught in the middle of other people's wars. The song traveled. It traveled all the way to the UK, where a punk rock band called The Clash heard it and covered it on their debut album in 1977. That was a massive moment.
Turn war officers.
Here was a Jamaican root song crossing over into British punk, two genres that seemed worlds apart, united by a shared feeling of rage at the system.
Crimes committed day by day.
That cover introduced Police and Thieves to a whole new audience. But it also meant that for many young people in the UK, they knew the Clash version before they ever found Junior Murvin's original.
Will be hear me.
Fun fact, Lee Perry's Black Ark studio was later destroyed by fire in 1979, burned down by Perry himself during a period of personal crisis. Many of the original session tapes from that era were lost. That makes every recording that survived from Black Ark, including Police and Thieves, even more precious.
In any way, all the peacemakers.
You are hearing something that almost disappeared. Junior Murvin never reached the fame that the song deserved to bring him. He remained a cult figure, respected deeply by people who knew their reggae history.
No one tried to stop it,
but unknown to the wider world. And that is the tragedy of it. Because Police and Thieves is a song that could speak to any city in the world where people feel unprotected and forgotten.
stop it in any way.
It is not just a Kingston story, it is a universal one. And the next number, this is where we get to something that almost broke a man and instead made him immortal. Number 6, Burning Spear, Slavery Days. Some songs ask you to feel good. This song asks you to feel something much harder. It asks you to remember, and remembering, real remembering, is not comfortable.
Remember the days of slavery.
Winston Rodney chose the name Burning Spear after a nickname given to Kenyan independence leader Jomo Kenyatta. That alone tells you what kind of artist he is. He is not here to entertain you and send you home happy. He is here to wake something up inside you. Slavery Days was recorded in 1975, produced by Jack Ruby, and released on the Island Records label, the same label that was building Bob Marley's international career at the same time.
So do you remember the days of slavery?
But Burning Spear and Bob Marley were doing very different things, even if they shared a spiritual foundation. The song is slow, almost painfully slow. There is a hypnotic quality to it. The rhythm circles around, and Burning Spear's voice chants over it like a man who has been waiting his whole life to say these words. He is asking about slavery. He is asking if we remember. And the weight of that question, asked in that voice, over that rhythm, it lands on you like something physical. This was conscious reggae at its most uncompromising.
So do you remember the days of slavery?
No love songs, no clever metaphors, just a direct confrontation with history that many people, especially in the comfortable markets of Europe and North America, were not ready to face in 1975. Fun fact, Burning Spear was once mentored by Bob Marley early in his career. Marley actually encouraged him and gave him advice about pursuing his music seriously. Two men from the same roots who went in two different directions. Marley toward international pop crossover, Burning Spear deeper and deeper into the roots. Both paths led to greatness. But only one of them is a household name, and that is the heartbreak of slavery days. It was too heavy for mainstream radio, too slow for casual listeners, too honest for an industry that preferred its reggae with a smile on it. So it found its audience, a loyal, devoted audience of people who understood what Burning Spear was doing, but it never got the global platform it deserved. This song should be taught in schools. That is not an exaggeration. We are halfway through this countdown. Which song has hit you hardest so far? Drop it in the comments right now. I want to know. And stay with us, because we are about to hit the controversy that we teased at the beginning. The story behind one of reggae's most talked about records, coming up very soon. Number 5, Bob Marley and the Wailers, I Shot the Sheriff. Alright, we said at the start of this video that one song on this list carried a story that most people never got right. This is the one. I Shot the Sheriff came out in 1973 on the Burnin' album, recorded at Harry J's studio in Kingston. The Wailers at that point were Peter Tosh, Bunny Wailer, and Bob Marley. 3 men who each had their own vision for where the music should go, and those visions were starting to pull in different directions. The tension inside that group was real, and some people believe you can hear it in the music. Now here is where the story gets complicated. Bob Marley always said this song was not about a real sheriff.
All around in my hometown.
He said in interviews that it was a metaphor, a story about a man defending himself against an authority that was trying to control him. Some people believe the sheriff represented the Jamaican government. Some say it was about the Babylonian system. Some say it was personal. And in Jamaica in the early 1970s, with political violence reaching dangerous levels,
It was I who shot the sheriff, but
any song about shooting someone in authority was going to get people's attention in ways that could go either way.
I didn't shoot no deputy. It goes like
Then Eric Clapton happened. In 1974, Eric Clapton, one of the most famous rock guitarists in the world, recorded a cover of this song and took it to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the United States.
they are trying to track me down.
That is a massive achievement. But here is the thing about that achievement. It came with a cost that not everyone talks about. Clapton's version introduced millions of people to the song, but it introduced them to it as a rock record, not a reggae record. Not a Jamaican record, and some of those millions of people never went back to find Bob Marley's original. The crossover happened, but not entirely on reggae's terms.
It was I who shot the sheriff, but I
In interviews over the years, different people around that era have said different things. Some said Marley was happy for the exposure.
Didn't shoot no deputy.
Some said there were quiet frustrations about the way black Jamaican artists had to watch their work become famous through the voices of white rock stars before the mainstream would pay attention. There are different versions of this story. We cannot tell you what Bob Marley felt in his heart, but we can tell you that this pattern, Jamaican music created in poverty and struggle, being picked up and made profitable by artists with more industry access, was not unique to this one song. It was a systemic reality of how the music business worked. What we do know is that Marley used the attention to keep pushing. He did not stop. He did not get bitter in public. He used every open door to speak his message louder. And I Shot the Sheriff, both versions, became part of that story. That is why this tune is not just music, it is history. Industry history, cultural history, the history of who gets to benefit from black creativity and who gets left holding the spiritual weight of it. In the next song, back to the roots, and to a man who made the whole world stop and listen with nothing but his voice and the truth. Number 4, Desmond Dekker and the Aces, the Israelites. Before Bob Marley, before the world knew what reggae was, there was this man, this quiet, serious man from Kingston who walked into a studio and made a record that broke through every wall the music industry had built to keep Jamaican music out. The Israelites was recorded in 1968 and produced by Leslie Kong, the same man who would later work with Toots Hibbert. Kong had a gift for clean, direct production that let the voice carry the song without anything getting in the way. And Desmond Dekker's voice needed nothing in the way. It was warm, humble, and full of a kind of dignity that made you want to listen. The lyrics are about struggle, about waking up every morning and going to work and still not having enough, about a man trying to feed his family and feeling like the system was designed against him. Dekker sang about poverty not as a political statement, but as a daily loved reality. That honesty is why the song traveled so far. In March 1969, the Israelites hit number 1 in the United Kingdom. That was a seismic moment. A Jamaican artist singing in his natural dialect, making music rooted in the everyday life of Kingston's working class, reaching the top of the British charts. It also reached the top 10 in the United States. That had almost never happened for a reggae record before. Dekker got there first. Fun fact, when the Israelites was being played on British radio, many listeners initially thought Dekker was American. His accent and delivery were so confident and clear that people did not know what they were hearing geographically. When they found out the record was Jamaican, it opened a door in people's minds about what music could come from the Caribbean. But here is the painful truth. Dekker never built on that breakthrough the way it seemed he might. The machinery around him was not strong enough. Distribution, management, the instability of the Jamaican music industry in that era, all of it worked against him building a lasting international career. Bob Marley would come along a few years later and change everything. But the path that Marley walked, Decker helped clear it. And not enough people say that loudly enough.
La, 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 la. Oh, yeah. Hey. La, la, la.
The next number is one of the most raw and emotionally devastating songs ever recorded. And the man who made it wrote it while he was running out of time. Number 3, Jimmy Cliff, Many Rivers to Cross.
Seem to find my way over.
I need you to understand something before we talk about this song. Jimmy Cliff wrote this in the late 1960s. He was a young Jamaican man who had traveled to London with a dream.
Well, I guess I had to cry.
He wanted to be a star. He wanted his music to matter. And London was not easy. London was cold, not just in temperature. The industry doors were slow to open. The recognition was slow to come. And in that lonely, frustrated place, he wrote this.
Keeps me alive.
He was 21 years old. 21 years old. And the weight in this song sounds like it was written by someone who had lived 3 lifetimes.
And the loneliness.
That is what real feeling does to music. It ages it beyond the years of the person making it. The song appeared on his Jimmy Cliff album in 1969 and later got a powerful boost when it appeared on the Harder They Come soundtrack in 1972.
I've been lit, washed up for years.
A film that changed the world's understanding of Jamaica and reggae music. But even before the film, this song was circulating among people who recognized that they were hearing something extraordinary.
And I merely survived because of my...
The production is sparse, almost no frills, because it needed nothing else. Jimmy Cliff's voice carries everything. The longing, the exhaustion.
Leave me alone. Such a
the refusal to give up even when giving up would be the easier choice. There is a gospel quality to it, not because it uses gospel instrumentation, but because it reaches for something that is bigger than the moment it was recorded in.
As I traveled along.
Artists like John Lennon heard this song and were moved by it. Cher recorded a version of it. Countless others covered it over the decades, but the original, Jimmy Cliff's voice on that first recording, that is the one that cuts the deepest.
Cliffs of Dover.
Fun fact, Jimmy Cliff later said that he could never write another song that matched the depth of Many Rivers to Cross. He said it came out of him at a particular moment of pain and honesty that he could not manufacture again. That is the nature of some of the greatest art ever made. It comes from a place you can only visit once. This song faded because it was not the kind of record that got pushed by aggressive marketing campaigns.
My woman left and she didn't say why.
It found its people quietly over time, through film soundtracks, through word of mouth, through one person playing it for another person and saying, "Listen to this."
And it's only my will.
That is how some of the best music in the world travels, not with a big push, with a quiet truth. And the next number, one of the most beloved figures in reggae history.
To be on your own.
A record that was more than music, it was a warning, a memory, and a demand for justice all at once. Number 2, Toots and the Maytals, Pressure Drop. Let me tell you something about Toots Hibbert. This man had one of the greatest raw voices in the history of popular music. Not just reggae, music. If you put his voice next to Otis Redding, next to Wilson Pickett, next to the greatest soul singers who ever lived, he belongs right there with them. And Pressure Drop is the song that proves it most completely. This was recorded in 1969 at Byron Lee's Dynamic Sound Studio in Kingston and produced by Leslie Kong. Yes, Kong again. The man had a golden ear. The song appeared on the Monkey Man album in 1970, and from that moment on, it took on a life of its own. Now, what is this song actually about? On the surface, it sounds like a warning. Pressure is going to drop on you. Whatever wrong you have done, it is coming back. There is a sense of divine justice in the lyrics, not angry justice. Patient justice, the kind that waits, the kind that is certain, and Toots sings it with such physical conviction that you feel the certainty in your own body. The rhythm is driven by sharp guitar, tight drums, and a walking bass line that feels like footsteps approaching. It is not a complicated arrangement. It does not need to be, because Toots' voice fills every space and then some. The song crossed over into rock through the Harder They Come soundtrack in 1972. The Clash later covered it. It appeared in films and TV shows across decades. Every time a new generation of music lovers discovered Pressure Drop, they were shocked that they had never heard it before. That says something. Fun fact, there is a story, well documented in reggae circles, that Toots Hibbert's natural vocal power was so strong that engineers in certain sessions had to pull back the microphone because it was too much for standard recording levels. A voice that physically challenged the technology of its time. That is not a small thing. And yet, for all the covers and all the film placements and all the critical acclaim, Toots never became the household name that this talent deserved internationally. He was the singer's singer, the musician's musician. People who really knew music knew his name, but casual listeners around the world knew the songs without knowing the man. That is a quiet injustice that has been slightly corrected in recent years, but only slightly. We are down to the final song, the one that needs no introduction, but deserves a new one anyway, because you might think you know this record, but do you really know the story of how it almost never existed?
All right, C-Trends fam, let's keep it real. We're pouring our hearts into bringing you the best celebrity news and music deep dives. What? Check it. A massive 98% of you aren't subscribed yet. Subscribing is how you can truly support us, helping us grow and create even better content. If you're vibing with what we do, take a sec to hit that subscribe button. It's free and makes a huge difference. Plus, ring that notification bell so you never miss out. Let's flip that 98% and build this C-Trends family together. Your support is everything.
Number 1, Bob Marley and the Wailers, Redemption Songs.
Redemption songs. Redemption.
I am going to slow down for this one because this deserves every second. It is 1980. Bob Marley knows something that most of the world does not know yet. The The cancer that started in his toe, that he refused to have amputated for reasons connected to his Rastafarian beliefs,
Atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time.
has spread. He has been told the truth about his health, and yet he is still in the studio. He is still recording. He is still trying to say one more true thing before time runs out.
Songs. Emancipate yourself from man.
Redemption Song was the final track on the Uprising album, produced by Bob Marley himself along with Alex Sadkin and Chris Blackwell at Tough Gong Studios in Kingston.
How long shall they kill our prophets while we...
And it is unlike almost anything else in Bob Marley's catalog. There is no full band. For most of the song, it is just him and an acoustic guitar. That is all. That is enough. The lyrics draw directly from a speech given by Marcus Garvey, the great Pan-African thinker and leader who inspired so much of Rastafarian philosophy. Marley lifted words from Garvey's vision of liberation and wove them into a song that felt personal, political, and spiritual all at the same time. He sang about emancipating yourself from mental slavery, not just physical chains, the chains in the mind, the ones that are harder to break. When this album came out, Marley was already running out of time.
From mental slavery, none but ourselves can free our mind.
He passed away in May 1981, 8 months after Uprising was released. He never got to see how deep this song went into the hearts of people all over the world. He never got to hear how many rooms it filled.
None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for.
How many people press play on it during the hardest moments of their lives? How many people are pressing play on it right now, at this very moment, somewhere on this earth?
How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand?
Redemption Song does not appear on the chart in the way many of the songs on this list appeared on charts. It was never really a radio hit. Rolling Stone put it on their 500 greatest songs of all time list despite the fact that it was not a commercial single. It got there purely on the power of what it is, what it means.
Stand aside and look. Some say it's just a part.
Fun fact, some music scholars and longtime Marley fans believe this song was Bob Marley's way of saying goodbye. Not dramatically, not with tears, just, here is what I believe, here is what I want you to remember.
The time. How long shall they kill our prophets? Why?
Here's what I want you to carry after I am gone. Whether that is true or not, the song carries that weight every single time it is played. Why is it number 1 on this list?
Song of freedom. 'Cause all I ever had.
Because it is not just a great reggae song, it is one of the greatest songs ever made by a human being. And because it was made by a man who was dying, who chose to spend some of his last creative energy not on bitterness or fear.
We stand aside and look. Some say it's just.
But on truth and liberation. It carries something that most music cannot carry. It carries the full weight of a life lived in service to something bigger than one person.
Won't you help to sing another?
This is what reggae gave the world. Not just rhythm, not just vibes.